Okay, so this is how the Marathon Season 2 3-week launch experience is going for everyone right now.
Oh yeah, very effective. Storage drive. Unstable diode, we need those. Entering smoke removes any ping on you. Yeah, you know what, how about no. Oh, good. Game's lagging. Great. Oh, Ruben, I can't move forward.
You're not moving forward.
Oh!
Lol. This is their like big, yes everyone, play the game experience. How fucking embarrassing, man.
I'm actually all my stuff's gone. The pistol. I got the new pistol. No fucking way. I want to start this off by talking about numbers, okay? Because numbers don't cope. Numbers don't have Twitter accounts. Numbers just sit there and tell you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. So, Marathon launched on March 5th, 2026. The all-time peak on Steam was 88,337 concurrent players. Now, for context, the Server Slam beta a week before launch hit 143,000. So the actual paid launch of the game had fewer people than the free beta. Already that should tell you something, but let's keep going, okay? Because I like Marathon, alright? 1 week after launch, Marathon dropped out of Steam's top 50 most played games. 1 week. By 1 month in, the player count was down 59% from its peak. By 2 months, it was sitting at less than 15% of its launch numbers. The game director is writing blog posts about how to save the game, talking about reintroducing duos and adding PvE experiences to bring players back. Duos should just be on every map. I don't know why they do this whole rotation system. So as of right now, Marathon hit a 40,000 24-hour peak. Okay, 40,000 people logged on to play Marathon. And this is what's important. So Paul Tassi confirmed on May 15th that Marathon has a roughly 2-to-1 ratio of Steam to console players. So when someone says, but what about PlayStation and Xbox? The answer is, Steam is the majority. This isn't Destiny, where the majority of players are on console. Okay, we know for a fact the majority of Marathon players are on Steam. And thank God it's only on Steam. Because people would say, oh, but what about Epic? What about Windows Store? No, it's only on Steam. And we know that the least amount of players for Destiny are on Steam. Marathon is a PC majority game with a small console tail. So when you see those Steam numbers, that is the picture. You're not missing some hidden massive console population, okay? It's not there. Like Destiny, it goes PlayStation, Xbox, Steam. Steam's at the bottom. And you already know what happened when Tassi reported this, man. Someone quote tweets him and says, holy shit, someone's gonna take your word as gold. You can't confirm anything. Quit lying, or at very least, spreading unconfirmed information and guesses as truth. And then Tassi himself goes, this is directly from Bungie sources. And then that same person kept going. This is the thing. Paul Tassi is a verified Bungie reporter. He works for Forbes. Marathon players will tell you themselves that queue times are long. That they make posts like, oh my god, we ran Outpost and we only encountered 1 or 2 teams. Haha. They'll post about it. But then when a journalist with Bungie sources comes out and confirms what their own experience is telling them, suddenly his word means nothing. They'll say the thing with their own mouths and then attack the guy who puts a number on it. It's complete delusion. And the cope just gets worse and worse. So last night, Season 2 launched, okay? And it was a very good move of them to do a free play week. So the season comes out and it's free to play for a week. This was supposed to be the comeback, okay? There was a real chance here for Marathon. And so I need to show you something, okay? A user called Glorpinity tweeted on May 27th, I unironically think with this free week, we're going to see 100k people on launch. I'm not joking or exaggerating. Quote tweet me when it doesn't happen. It hasn't happened. Season 2 launched and it's at 40k, all right? Not 100,000, not even halfway, okay? And 4 hours in, the servers went down with error codes. Like I couldn't get into a match. You're seeing it. You saw the gameplay at the beginning. The Marathon community immediately decided it was a DDoS attack from Destiny players. You know, a user tweets with 96,000 views. I have absolutely no doubt, guys, that this is a DDoS attack. There's no way the server could be having issues with 30,000 people when it handled 87,000 during the launch without any problems. Look, I share this disbelief, but it's just incompetence. It's incompetence. And then again, Paul Tassi tweets that he's been told it's not a DDoS attack. Hopefully it can be resolved after this. He got directly told by sources, because he is a Forbes writer, that it's not a DDoS. Just regular server issues. It's the same server issues Bungie has had for almost every major content drop for the last 6 years. One Marathon player themselves pointed out, yo, Marathon community, we got to stop saying shit like this. That's a Marathon player calling out the cope from inside the house. And she's right. Bungie's servers are terrible. I was there for Shadowkeep. I was there for the Final Shape. Those are like the two notable ones that were just terrible. This is just what happens. But the Marathon community created a conspiracy. They created a cloak and dagger fantasy spy thriller where Destiny players are coordinating cyber attacks on their extraction shooter. The most obvious answer, servers struggled under load because that's what Bungie servers do. It wasn't dramatic enough. They needed a villain.
They'll just find another monster because they have to justify their wages.
Oh, the right wing, they keep us down. The Destiny players hate us. Everyone's conspiring to keep Marathon down. Like all these different people, like it's like all these groups of people, and then they add in like people like Astacross. You know, apparently all these people just hate Marathon. Astacross hates Marathon. What was he doing in March and April? What was he playing? No, the common denominator is Marathon, and there's hypocrisy. This is what makes me lose my mind. It's the hypocrisy. It's the picking and choosing. Someone tweets, wholly unemployed, we're checking Steam charts at 2 p.m. CST on a work day for most people. Bro, you're even including the time zone in the tweet. Like, and then someone else goes, why do people default to Steam charts for literally everything? This game's available, blah, 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 blah. And then Orion replies, oh, so now Steam chart player count isn't reliable. Interesting. And then this one, so when it's low enough for you brainlets, look at Steam charts. And when the numbers go up, they can't be trusted. When the numbers look good, look at our Steam numbers. When the numbers look bad, well, you can't really trust Steam numbers, even though we've already established, Tassi confirmed directly from Bungie sources, Marathon has a 2-to-1 Steam to console ratio. Steam is the majority, Destiny's the opposite, okay? So, when you compare the two games using Steam charts, you're actually being more generous to Marathon. You are giving Marathon the lead. If I use Steam charts like I did at the beginning of the video, this is Marathon's absolute best. This is the best number you could possibly use to judge Marathon's player count. And then the Destiny Steam charts, that's the worst number to use. And still, it's 80k versus 70k. And then Sky Assassin, this person's a fucking idiot, tries to compare Marathon's current situation to Curse of Osiris era Destiny, saying, oh, with this logic, Destiny should have shut down back then. Right. So Curse of Osiris was the worst period in Destiny 2 history. It at one point had 350,000 daily active players. Marathon's a PC majority game, yes, we've established that. So even if you triple the Steam numbers to account for console, which isn't even accurate, okay, because console does have less. But again, I'm being generous. You're looking at maybe 30,000 to 35,000 across all platforms on a good day. So let's cut it at 90 to 100k. Curse of Osiris had 3 times that. It's not the same. I just want to add, right, if people like Sky Assassin and Glorpinity, go get Twitter Blue. Get Twitter Blue, because you guys are great. You guys are great. You can make some serious money. At one point, Iceside, who I know is like a massive, like, he's an evil guy, bro. Like, listen, I'm not, I may not sound like it, but I'm a woke guy, right? This is a woke safe space, all right? He compares the Left 4 Dead 2 player count to Marathon's player count. And then someone in the comments says, oh, that's because Peanut was streaming it earlier. Those are inflated numbers. Left 4 Dead 2, which is it from 2009, and I play Left 4 Dead 2 almost every day. I'm a Left 4 Dead 2 player. That averages 20 to 30,000 players daily. That's not a spike from a streamer. It's a 17-year-old game that consistently pulls the same numbers as a brand new AAA title backed by Sony. That's not inflated numbers for Left 4 Dead, okay? That's deflated numbers for Marathon. I just want to, like, I want to say, right, to reach this point, it doesn't take a Cloak and Dagger game, conspiracy, or you know, like all this stuff that I've been talking about so far. This takes years of pissing off your fans. These toxic positivity echo chambers were a big reason why Destiny died, and this is where both communities, Destiny and Marathon, need to hear something uncomfortable, okay? On April 15th, 2025, DMG tweets, Marathon will begin, Destiny will continue, with a heart emoji. Destiny will continue. Destiny's not continuing, okay? It's entering maintenance mode. The community manager of the game told you it would continue, and it didn't. And this is the problem, okay? This isn't DMG's fault individually, alright? He was saying what the studio line was, but that line was wrong. And the community took it as gospel. January 8th, 2026, MacDix tweets, okay, Renegades has solidified itself as one of my favorite Destiny expansions ever. I bookmarked this tweet. I had it saved because I knew this day was coming. And when May 21st hit and the shutdown was announced, I pulled it up and I said, Renegades isn't the concrete reason why Destiny 2 is ending, but the point is that people like this were heard by Bungie at times when they shouldn't have been heard, okay? This stuff matters. When your mainstream content creators are telling you Renegades is one of the best expansions ever, the developer hears that. They hear, oh, the community loves it. And then the expansion doesn't sell because the echo chamber told them it was beloved. When you have a toxic positive echo chamber of content creators who are afraid to tell the truth because they want to stay in the developer's good graces, the developer never gets real feedback, okay? Every patch, game saved, every expansion, best one ever. And then Sony pulls the plug on Destiny because Renegades isn't selling. Edge of Fate didn't sell. The same pattern is happening with Marathon, and so will the same outcome. Here's another tweet. I really wish my current favorite game wasn't the anger outlet for millions of angry people. And listen, I get the frustration, but you know what? I was actually playing. Well, I tried to play. It wasn't playable because the servers were down on Season 2 launch day during free play week. The game they killed Destiny for wasn't even functional on the day it was supposed to win people over. If you want people to stop being angry, give them a game that works on its biggest day. And yet go on, try to call me a hater, try calling me a grifter who's farming clicks. I wanted to play Marathon yesterday, but I couldn't. I recorded a video when the Destiny announcement happened, talking about Destiny and how you should play it on June 9th, but I held off on uploading it because I didn't want people to label me as someone who's creating this boycotting campaign of Marathon, that's not even happening either, by the way. Like the Astacross situation, okay, because this infighting narrative is a whole separate layer of cope. So again, Sky Assassino tweets, content creators like Astacross who are inciting this really weird war against Marathon fundamentally goes against everything Destiny is about. Destiny is about community and the importance of being united. This weird infighting doesn't help at all. And then in another tweet, it's really funny that Cross was glazing Marathon a month ago and now he's not because it's cool to hate on it now. Okay, which is it? So last month he was glazing Marathon and then he started a boycotting campaign, but now he's actually just joining in on it because it's cool. Or like, did he incite the war? Like, pick one. You can't have everything. And this is what happens. Anyone who changes their mind based on new information, they get called a bandwagoner. They get called a LARPer. Anyone who was critical about this game from the start gets called a hater. There's no acceptable position for these people other than the game's great, everything's fine. That's the echo chamber. That's how it functions. Every exit is blocked. Like someone after the fact says, imagine if the dev time went into permanent additions, you'd probably get what we're getting now. And this is talking about Destiny. And yeah, I've been saying this for years. Stop making 6-man activities that become irrelevant in 6 months. The time and money that went into Wellspring, into Terminal Overload, into every seasonal activity that got deleted. If that had gone into permanent content, into updating old raids, into strikes, into things that persist, we wouldn't be here. And what people say, like what they would say back then is, well, I just want to be positive. I just want to focus on the positives because there's a lot of positives about this DLC, this Witch Queen DLC, this Beyond Light DLC. Look, it's not like positive, being a positive person and a negative person, just putting it all under one umbrella. Like that, you doing that it cost the game. It cost the game, okay? Look, listen to me. A lot of people focused on the positives that were inconsequential, and therefore they didn't even discuss the negatives that would have terrible implications for the game years on. There was a problem with Bungie where there'd be a problem with the game. Like, I'm talking about Destiny. There'd be a problem with the game, and it would be a deep cut problem. Like, it would be a deep problem, like a deep rooted issue inside the game, and they would fix it. But they wouldn't go in and address the issue. They would introduce something new, and it was meant to be like a counter to the issue. So the issue is still in the game, but now there's a counter to it. Instead of removing the issue, they just add the counter. Do you get what I'm saying? And a great example of this was contest mode. If you see my previous videos, I've discussed this before. Okay, Last Wish came out, and it was like everyone loved it. It took long. It was hard. Enemies had lots of health. We were under-leveled. The mechanics were good. And people were like, this is the new standard for Destiny raids. And then Scourge of the Past came out and people cleared it in a few hours. And people lost their minds. So then Bungie thought, okay, so Scourge of the Past, first off, it's not nearly as mechanically complex as Last Wish because this is 1 out of 3 raids we're making this year. They made 3 raids in 1 year. Never do that again, Bungie. Never do that again. 1 new raid and 1 reprise raid, that was a good little system you had. And it was combined with the fact that the power level gap between players in the activity was smaller, okay? It wasn't as big as Last Wish. So people were stronger because the power leveling in the Black Armory season, it was more forgiving. You got more power levels because you could run Last Wish and get powerful engrams. So people were over leveled and the raid wasn't as mechanically complex. There was no vault encounter. That's why Scourge of the Past got cleared so quickly. But then when Crown of Sorrow came out, they introduced contest mode, which made the raid hard again. Okay, fine, you made it hard. But how did you make it harder? You didn't go back and fix the actual problem that made Scourge of the Past easy. Crown of Sorrow is still an easy raid. It's an easy fucking raid. It's boring. And thanks to contest mode, Bungie have just been able to sneakily avoid fixing power leveling. And now people don't look forward to... People say themselves, oh, day 1 raids, I'm basically only playing this game for day 1 raids. Like, this new big update is coming out with all this loot and people are saying, yeah, but what am I going to use it in? There's going to be no day 1 raid. Before, it would be fun to level up. It was a looter shooter, man. And now we arrive at Marathon, which has a grenade spam problem, okay? People just spam grenades. I was there. I play Marathon. I play it. Okay, I know about the grenade spam. So all the throwable grenades got reduced to a stack size of 1, and they nerfed some of its damage, but that doesn't matter. Like, you could still just load up some grenades into your purple backpack and throw them and then loot them off dead corpses. It doesn't matter. So instead, what they've done is they've now introduced a runner who has an ult that basically deploys a trophy system from COD, which just undoes grenades. Grenades come at you and they go poof. That's it. That's how they fixed the grenade problem. They just created a runner that removes grenades from the game. So now what that does is it creates new problems. I don't know the name of the runner, I'm sorry, but now when you run Cryo Archive, the team comp is going to be limited because people have to run this runner. It's a band-aid solution. I'm not used to saying band-aid because I'm from the UK, but that's the saying. It's a band-aid solution. They just put a plaster over it and they go, okay, job done. You got to actually address the grenade problem because you could still bring grenades. You could bring hella grenades. You need to actually limit the amount of grenades that can be on your person. The reason why I'm saying all this is because, so I'm going to say this, right? I'll say this, but then instead of focusing on my critique and countering it, because you can counter this critique, I'm pretty sure you can. I'm open to being proven wrong. People won't even engage with this stuff. They'll just say I'm a hater, I'm LARPing, I don't even play the game. I'll show them 100 hours of playtime and they'll genuinely look at me and say, that's not enough. Are you stupid? People did the same thing with Destiny, okay? When I criticized contest mode as an idea, not even like, oh, they need to remove contest mode so raids can be easier. I never said that. People would immediately jump to that. They'd jump to that and say, how many day ones do you have? 0. I had 0 day ones in Destiny 1 before contest mode. I didn't do day ones, okay? I don't have the time. Raids drop at 6 p.m, bro. 6 p.m. I want to go to bed. I'm not staying there playing Destiny for nothing. So don't take all this out of context, okay? Because I just sat here and actually spoke about Marathon, okay? It's not a bad game. The gunplay feels good. Obviously, the art direction is good. The music is good. The short film is what got me to buy the game. I looked at the short film. I was like, oh shit, this is legit. The dedicated servers are everything Destiny PvP players begged for. The people who made it are talented. I'm not sitting here saying Marathon's garbage, alright? What I'm saying is that Bungie chose to prioritize a game in an oversaturated genre, extraction shooters, where you're competing against art creators at 200,000 concurrent and Delta Force at like 100,000. Like over a game, it had no real competition doing what it did, man. Nothing plays like Destiny. Nothing has raids like Destiny. Nothing sounds like Destiny. And they chose the extraction shooter, man. And it's like, it's failed. That's the problem. It's not the quality. It's really unfortunate. But it's the truth. Bungie's community manager told you Destiny would continue. It didn't. Content creators told you Renegades was a good expansion. It wasn't. Marathon fans predicted 100,000 players for season 2. Well, you know what? No, I'll give it to you. 40,000 and error codes. When the servers went down, the community invented a DDoS conspiracy rather than accept that Bungie had bad launches for 6 straight years. When the player count looks bad, they tell you Steam charts can't be trusted, but then when it looks good to their standards, it doesn't look good. Whatever way you slice it, they say, oh, look at the Steam charts. Look at the Steam charts. When a journalist with direct Bungie sources confirms the numbers, they tell him he's lying to his face, bro. When Left 4 Dead from 2009 matches their concurrent players, they say, oh, it's because of a streamer. It's because of a streamer. You can go look at it yourself, man. I was getting into Versus No Mercy lobbies faster than Outpost Rook runs in April. At every single turn, the Cope will create a new villain. They have to justify their wages. Destiny players are DDoSing us. Astacross is inciting a war. By the way, all he did was say that I don't care about Marathon, I care about Destiny more. I'm gonna play Destiny. Steam charts aren't reliable. Paul Tassi is spreading misinformation. The haters want us to fail. The common denominator isn't haters, man. The common denominator isn't Destiny fans. It's not Astacross or Tassi or Steam charts. The common denominator is the people. And the people tried Marathon. 80,000 people tried Marathon. That's it. That's the simple answer. People stopped showing up because people didn't like the game. Not because of a conspiracy. Not because of a coordinated hate campaign. It just couldn't retain, and it isn't because of a coordinated hate campaign. It's because you pissed off your fan base for 10 years. The anger is because Marathon isn't performing and Destiny got killed for it. Both things are true at the same time. That's not hate, man. That's just maths. Destiny 2 fans are gonna slam the server on June 9th for Monument of Triumph. They want to smash Marathon's all-time peak to show Sony what this franchise audience looks like when it shows up. And honestly, good, man, because the numbers are the only language these corporations understand. Sony looked at a spreadsheet and decided Destiny wasn't worth it. So we're going to show them a different spreadsheet come June 9th. And until the community around Bungie games can accept reality, until they stop creating delusions about DDoS attacks and conspiracies and Steam charts, and they start looking at the actual product and the actual decisions of the company behind the product, nothing will change. Demand better from the developer, not from the fans, man, not from Astacross, not from Paul. Demand better from Bungie, because they're the ones who made these choices And they're the only ones who can make different ones. Look at the PlayStation stream last night, man. People were spamming Destiny 3 in the chat. People love Bungie. That's why this hurts. They made Halo. They made Destiny. They made Marathon. I like Marathon, man. I'm gonna go play it now. And they let Destiny go. Not because of haters, because of decisions. Yeah, some of them were from upper management, but some of them were also from the devs, man. The promise was that Marathon would begin and that Destiny would continue, but only the first part came true, and $760 million in impairment losses later, here we are. Hopefully that changes, but it won't change as long as people are more comfortable creating delusions to win Twitter arguments rather than facing the reality.